Hey all, and welcome back to the HellfireComms playthrough of Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney. Today we will be starting the third case of the game, Turnabout Samurai. Oh, I do love a bit of tokusatsu, Richie.
Oh, I know, and I mean, the Steel Samurai is amazing. I mean, this theme is great.
Yeah, they actually put him as a costume in Street Fighter 6 recently, I believe.
Totally the right decision.
The warrior's swords gleam and strike in the moonlight. One has fallen, but who? Only the moon knows. Don't miss next week's exciting episode. Namek explodes. Or my favourite, one that I apparently dreamed up, the spirit bomb fails.
Fun fact is that in Japan, the Steel Samurai is called Tono-saman, which the Tono may come from Lord. That's the kanji that's on his forehead, and is the same as the honorific Dono, which is actually frequently used by Simon Blackwell, the prosecutor for Dual Destinies.
Yes, I've got into him, yeah.
But then there's also the polite honorific, which is Sama, and then also the English man, in the vein of, you know, other superheroes, Superman, Spider-Man, etc.
Yeah.
It's quite a nice little thing, but yes, conceived very early on into development.
Yes, very early, actually.
Although, originally, they did think that the name Tono-saman was too silly, so an alternate name, which was Metal Mask, was proposed, but everyone else preferred Tono-saman. So, thank God, even though obviously it became Steel Samurai, but Steel Samurai is a much better name than Metal Mask.
Well, I mean, there is the subgenre of tokusatsu known as Metal Hero. One of those became Beetleborgs over here, I believe. And Masked Rider obviously comes from Kamen Rider, and Power Rangers comes from Super Sentai. That is a brief history of tokusatsu. Tokusatsu, by the way, is a style of TV making which heavily uses practical effects. How am I going to pay the rent this month? Oh boy.
Yeah, it doesn't really help when, you know, you've had two cases, one of which is your broke-ass best friend, and the other is the broke-ass sister of your boss who was paying your bills.
So, you're not paying rent, and I have to pay you now?
Yeah.
Alright. Hello? This is Phoenix. Nick! Maya? What? It's still early. It's the Steel Samurai! The Steel Samurai got arrested! We're not 5 minutes in, and there's already a murder.
This is Ace Attorney, Tom. There's always a murder within, like, 2 seconds.
That's true.
To be fair, they do start to shift it up a little bit from, I want to say, the second game onward. Certainly is the case in some of the later games, but sometimes you will start in a sort of an investigation phase and everything's fine, and then the murder happens whilst you're there, because of course the murder happens whilst you're there, because that's the kind of crazy world that we live in here.
Yeah, well, it's just more dramatic that way.
I mean, it is, and also, I mean, who would want to watch a completely boring law TV series or game, for that matter?
Hey, I love a bit of Law and Order of an evening. I was actually watching it before we started it.
Note how I said boring. You see, the Law and Order episodes, that they spice that stuff up for TV.
They do. What would you consider a boring law show, then?
A law show that actually shows law happening as it actually happens, because to my understanding, the reality is that it is a lot of, you know, going through documents and calmly pointing out, here's this evidence and here's this evidence. Yes, you sometimes do get the spicy testimony and the spicy cross-examinations, but you don't, you know, tend to get the lawyers going, objection! And, you know, walking up to the bar and all that jazz. It doesn't really happen. It looks cool, And it sounds cool, but it's not realistic. But there we go. That's just life.
Let's go, Nick. Go? Go where? They have the Steel Samurai down in detention. So what? So, I've decided this will be our first case, that's what.
I like how Nick has absolutely no choice in this matter.
Yeah.
To be fair, in most matters, he is strong-armed by literally everybody.
Yeah, they say Wright and Co. on... Oh my god. They say Wright and Co. on the front door, but Maya is the one wearing the trousers. What's wrong, Maya? It's him, in the flesh. Is that guy really him? What do you mean, that guy? Of course it's him.
He's not in his outfit.
Oh, Will Powers, that lion, that's him. Maybe I shouldn't be saying this. But he definitely did it. Murder. At least once, maybe twice. Whoa, 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 what are you saying? Yes? Something wrong? No. This is getting off to a great start. I know, you're disappointed, aren't you?
He's adorable.
He is a little bit adorable, yeah. Disappointed? Oh no. No, it's okay. This is the real me. When I got the part of the Steel Samurai with that mask, I decided I would never show my face in public until the job was over.
Very much like professional wrestlers.
I was going to say like luchadors. I guess it didn't matter. So much for dreams. I wonder what they think of the Steel Samurai now. Sneef. Wah. Nick. What? He's a good guy. I mean, he's good.
I mean, that was a bit of an about turn, wasn't it?
He didn't do it. I'll give you that sassy look.
I know. Every time I mean, to be fair, it's the same thing that happens with any time Larry turns up. It's just like, everyone's like, no, he definitely did it. It's like, he's an idiot. He didn't do it, but I can understand how you got to that point.
The cast had come down to Global Studios for a run-through. We went through a few action sequences at 10 that morning. There was a rehearsal scheduled for 5 in the afternoon. But when 5 came around and the staff gathered at the studio, the evil magistrate was found lying in a crumpled heap near the set.
Ooh.
Oh god. I remember thinking this was quite graphic when I played it back in the day.
In a way, yes, it's graphic, but also, you know, black and white, and rather than us really seeing any guts and gore, it is just a hole in his suit.
That's his chest, I think, mate.
Well, yes, his chest, but, you know, it just looks like a hole rather than, you know, seeing anything else in there.
I will say, playing the HD version of this game, I never noticed his pinprick eyes before. I thought they were just all white. He's new to this and a bit out of touch with the world. Hey, who's new to this? No, it's alright, really. The Steel Samurai is the lead character in a popular kids show. He walks the streets of Neo Old Tokyo, which is New Old Tokyo, just for those of you not keeping up. Of course, he never really defeats the evil magistrate. That would just end the show, kind of like Gilligan's Island and why they never build the ship.
Yeah, and also, you know, the whole Batman versus Joker, although both of them have died multiple times at this point.
Who comes up with these names?
I'll just wait until we get to, Game 6.
Now, where were you on the day of the murder? Well, that morning I came to the studios at 9. I fell flat on my arse, that's what I did. Rehearsal was to begin at 5, but I was a little tired. So after lunch, I took a nap in my dressing room. When I woke up, it was after 5. I was late for the rehearsal. I hurried to the studio and found everyone looking shocked. They arrested me on the spot and brought me here. Oh, that might be a costume, actually, now that I notice it, because there's a ring around the neck.
Yeah, it is a costume, but also, obviously, it did go straight through.
What will the kids think? Sniff. I think I should probably check out the scene of the murder. Right, Global Studios, I'll draw you a map. Well, Nick, let's go! I'm willing to bet $10 she asks for autographs.
Also, oh god, just looking back at this and going, I'll draw you a map. God, how times have changed. Now it's just like, well, I've got Google Maps. Why do I need anything else?
Really? God, yesterday I was just like looking through my old hometown on Google Maps, just seeing what had changed. Yeah, lots of stuff has changed. Oh god, I'm turning to dust as we speak. I don't feel so good, Mr. Stark. Well, speaking of old...
Yes, and feeling like you're turning to dust. Oh, good old bag.
Indeed. Oh yeah? Well, that's great. I'm security. And it's my job to make sure that gawkers like you stay out. Gawkers? Gawkers, sightseers, tourists. I know the type. You heard about the incident and came to snoop around. Use today. Something horrible happens and all you can think of is sightseeing. Wasting your time at the time of this day. I'm doing. Lawyers not working on it. I can't read that fast. I can read fast, not that fast. What was that about her son not having called her?
To be honest at this point, I don't really know, but I think Wendy Oldbag is one of those characters that everyone loves to hate because she's a vile old lady, but she's so bloody funny.
Yeah, she's entertaining. If you're going to make a character an asshole, at least make them entertaining. In fact, in my younger days... No, you were a star? Only a little twinkle between the stars here, I'm afraid, dearie. Well, wow. This place has really gone downhill, you know. But 10 years ago, now that was a studio of dreams. Hammer was a big star back then too. He was... Hammer? The victim, dummy. The evil magistrate. All magistrates are evil in my eyes. Hoya! Alright, what do you know about Will Powers? Can you tell me about Mr. Will Powers? He's not a bad kid, but don't be fooled by his mask. You wouldn't want him on the silver screen without it, believe me.
I mean, I feel like that's a little bit mean. Like, he's got the lion about his look.
Yeah.
Potentially, back in the day, probably around the time this was built, perhaps there wasn't necessarily the tastes out there for that, but considering how many people started swooning over big, muscular, hairy guys in the last decade or so, I think he'd have a bit of success about now.
We're talking about the dad bod, Rich?
Talking a little bit about the dad bod, but I mean, also just think about all the people swooning over Hugh Jackman as Wolverine.
Oh, of course. Hugh Jackman's Wolverine? How dare he? Oh, I'm sure he would say that. He's no fool. But he was the only one that walked by. He's the killer. You can bet your biscuits on it. Yeah, we'll see about that.
Yeah.
What kind of person was Jack Hammer? Ah, I get it. What kind of person? Oh, if you only knew. Oh, and Will Power.
Yes.
I think I may have only just got that. That's bad. That's bad.
That is bad, Tom. So Will Power's name in Japanese is Saburo Niboshi.
Mm-hmm.
Niboshi comes from the word of the same name, which are dried baby sardines, similar to anchovies. Apparently the idea was that even though something is small, like a sardine, it can still have the dream of being a star.
Ah.
That's the idea. But, obviously, I think the sort of willpower pun is a lot stronger.
Yeah, for sure. That's one that doesn't translate into English, I don't think.
Yes. Obviously, jackhammer, play on the term jackhammer, the construction tool. But also, hammer may reference the Hammer film productions.
Yeah, with Christopher Lee and so on, yeah.
Which makes sense in a way because his Japanese name is Takeshi Ibukuro, Ibukuro is a pun, a word which sounds the same, which means stomach or torso, which is where he was stabbed.
Oh man, do you think his parents knew this?
Well, don't know. But the other thing is that jackhammers puncture things, and obviously his chest was kind of punctured.
Yep.
So that's a funny one. And obviously, just to round out my my lovely naming thing, since we had Wendy Oldbag.
Yeah.
Obviously, the pun of Windy Old Bag. And also play an old hag.
Yeah.
But her Japanese name is Kaoru Oba. Oba most likely comes from Oba-chan or Oba-san, which is like old lady or grandma. But also it may come from Obaka, which means a big idiot. And another possible explanation is that her name is a play on just with the Kaoru is a smell. So it could also be that, her name smells like grandma, or smells like an old lady.
I don't want to imagine that old bag smells, alright?
That is fair.
Maybe the security lady only thought she saw me.
It is a distinct possibility.
He doesn't seem to be lying.
As we find out with the majority of our clients throughout the series, they're generally not lying. They might not necessarily always present every bit of truth immediately. And outside of, I want to say, one exception, they are all, true when they say I didn't kill anybody.
Okay. Yeah, I can think of a couple exceptions there, but to say any more would be to give the game away, and we possibly want to do the trilogy? Maybe? Question mark?
Potentially. We'll see. We'll see where we get to, but the important thing is that we do the iconic Ace Attorney game. That is the key.
Mm-hmm. There were maps in the security guard station.
I nabbed them.
Hell yeah. Hey, not bad. Those are 50 cents a piece, thank you. Well, time to go, Nick. 50 cents! Guide map of Global Studios added to the court record. Alrighty.
So yes, let's go to outside Studio 1.
Oh. Bet that guy's lost his head over there, Rich.
Bit unfortunate.
Aren't you that murderer from the other day? For God's sake. It's like confused detective. Hey pal, Prosecutor Edgeworth is all upset and it's your fault. I saw him sipping tea and staring gloomily out the window.
That's just Edgeworth.
He's British, that's just what we do.
Well, no, I'm pretty sure he's American, but...
No, Gregory Edgeworth is his father, and Edgeworth speaks with a British accent. You could look it up if you don't believe me.
I am now going to have to double check this one.
I think you hurt his feelings, Maya. I'm sorry. Well, I think his feelings are easily hurt. You're right, pal. It's all my fault. I can blame other people all I want, but I know the truth in my heart. Hey, don't take it so hard. There's always the next case. Yeah, I suppose you're right. Hey! What exactly are you two doing here? Well... We're on this case too, pal. Huh? Hey, you can't just go around saying pal like that. That's my endearing character trait. I'd say he's a character, alright. Alright, Gumshoe, what you got for us? So, how's your investigation going, detective? Well, hey, I can't tell you that, pal. Nick, maybe you need to be a little more indirect with your questions. Right, so, detective, mind if I take a look at what you've got? What I got? The autopsy report. The latest version, if you please.
Yes, it would be helpful, and making sure it stays the same would also be helpful.
Autopsy report added to the court record. Pierced through the chest by a spear. So, Richie, what have your findings led you to?
There is actually nothing on the Ace Attorney wiki stating where either Gregory or Miles originate from, so we can take that to mean that they come from America, as does Nick and so on and so forth, because that is where they grew up, because obviously Miles, Larry and Nick were all school pals.
Edgeworth could have been a transfer student, you don't know.
He could have been, but I think that's potentially unlikely.
Well, I'll tell you what, why don't I go through the motions of quizzing Gumshoe here? Why don't you type in Google, is Edgeworth from Ace Attorney English? If you can't find it on the wiki, you can find it on Google.
Now you see, everything that says is that he was British inspired, but obviously the original character is meant to be Japanese.
Well, of course.
So it's one of those things. It's never stated. So he's more of a British wannabe. Is I think the
oof.
That is the decision of Reddit, I believe.
Yeah, that was a certified Reddit opinion right there.
Ultimately, it doesn't really matter. We can claim him as ours. He is sipping tea. That's what's important.
Yeah, that's all you need to be English, really.
Sip tea, look moodily out the window.
Yeah, I say this as someone who is, like, more Irish than English. I'm Irish, then English, then Welsh, then Scottish.
I think I'm very much mostly English.
Really? Couldn't tell, Richie.
Yeah, there's a chance there might be a bit of Irish in there. There was we have a bit of sort of a story of the family history that there was some people who came over from Ireland at some point, but we can't find any evidence to support that or any of the other slightly fanciful stories that were part of that family history.
Yeah, saying I'm mostly English followed up by we can't trace our Irish ancestry, not a good sign, Richie.
Well, we got so far back, we just can't find any proof that there is any Irish there.
Oh, I'm lightheaded.
Well, I assume pretty much mostly English.
Yes. I'm sure some of you get the joke out there, whatever. Now's our chance to check things out. Let's see, what else do we need to do here? Speak with Gumshoe more.
No, I think we've got everything for now. Want to examine the door?
Yeah, to Studio 1. Doesn't rhyme, but whatever.
Yes, examine the door, examine the mascot head, and examine the camera.
I have the guide right next to me, Mr. Man.
I know you do, but I like to sort of make it seem like I know what's happening as well.
That's fair. That is how I get by day to day. I guess it's a monkey of some kind. Would it be like a capuchin monkey?
Potentially.
They had their big-ass bulbous noses. Right, Studio 1 is to the right, and Studio 2 to the left. What's up with that thing? It looks kind of busted. Oh, the wind was pretty strong yesterday, and the head broke off. What, did a tornado come through here?
Yeah, so not a capuchin monkey, but more likely a proboscis
That's
monkey.
the one.
Those are the ones that have got the pendulous noses.
That's the one. I don't like pendulous and nose in the same sentence.
Don't worry, because you don't want the other term that I could have used for describing the proboscis.
That must be the camera ID number. Okay.
Oh god, that's even worse, is the National Geographic page for the proboscis monkey uses the term fleshy alongside pendulous when referring to the noses.
Nope, I'm good, thank you. Yeah, they're soft enough she doesn't need teeth to chew them. Donuts, that is. Hey, you! Well, are you satisfied Powers is guilty yet? She had to make my life harder by giving that photo to Detective Gumshoe. Alright. Photographic proof. What do you got, old bag? Why didn't you tell us about the security photo, ma'am? Because I don't owe you shit, pig! First of all, I'm a lawyer.
we're going to see this evidence eventually anyway, so just give it to us.
Yeah, also, the correct derogatory term for a lawyer is ambulance chaser. I've watched The Simpsons, I know. This guard station is in a central position. No matter where you go here, you pass by my station first. I seem to recall, in the case I'm doing now in Dual Destiny, it's the second one, there was also someone at a guard station who saw fuck all.
Yes. Very much so, and it does turn up a couple of times throughout the series.
Unreliable narrators, bad testimony, it's all there.
Oh yes, and some people are just bullshitting.
Mm-hmm. Old Bag especially. Oh, he was the biggest star in the studio. Was? Past tense?
Well, I mean, he's dead, so of course it was, but but equally, yes, no, he was, before his demise,
yeah,
a star.
Making a star like him play the evil magistrate is a disgrace, I tell you. Hammer took it pretty hard, and who can blame him?
Now, this is something that's quite interesting in that, obviously at this time, and I suppose with reference to the type of TV show that it's talking about, being cast as the villain when you've been cast as sort of the big hero would be a downgrade.
Yeah.
But actually, if you look at most popular movies today, a lot of very high-profile people go for the villain roles because there's actually a hell of a lot more meat on the bones.
Yes.
And they're much more exciting and engaging to play.
I mean, just look at the MCU. They got, Mr. Tony Stark himself, Robert Downey Jr., back to play Doctor Doom, one of the most iconic roles. And they obviously paid him the big bucks to do that, because it's a primo role.
Well, yeah. Still, not sure was necessarily the right move, but we'll see how it pays off.
Right, let's check Will Power's dressing room. There's bound to be clues and such in here. Power's dressing room. So this is where he was sleeping. Or at least, this is where he claims he was sleeping. Right, and there's a picture of him near the crime scene. I hope he's telling the truth, for his sake. Very manly handbag down here.
Very manly bag, but it's. I mean, hey, everybody needs a bag.
I know. Look, an employee card key. That must be Powers's. It says Studio 1. Let's take it, Nick. Borrow it. You mean borrow.
Oh no, she means take. We don't borrow things in this world.
I'm amazed she hasn't been done in for fucking kleptomania or whatever. Let's see. Looks like someone was sleeping here. Maybe Powers did take a nap here. Alright. I think that's all we're going to find here, actually.
Might want to slide to the left in here, I think, and have a look at those plates. And also that open grate. I think those are important to look at.
The remains of yesterday's lunch are scattered around. Everyone was probably too shocked to clean up. There's a T-bone on one of the plates, minus the steak. T-bone steak. That would have hit the spot. You just had a burger. Yeah, but I have a second stomach just for steaks. Let's have a look at the grates here. The metal grate on the drain has been taken off. That's a pretty big drain. A kid could fit through there, I bet. If you snuck in that way, you wouldn't have to pay at the gate. Well, if you want to leave that way, be my guest. Right. Huh? Hey, I'm not a kid. I thought you said you were a teenager earlier, Maya.
She was like, I'm 17. I mean, in some things, that's... I'm an adult now because, turned 16, and it's just like, Daddy, I'm not a child anymore, says Ariel, who's 16 and wanting to go change everything to be with a man. But, there we go.
Indeed. Alright, let's go back to just outside Studio 1.
And hilarity. So that is something that is a clue to the fact that you're getting older in the world, is when you go from siding with Ariel in the debate about what she should do with her future to siding with her father of going, "You're a child, Ariel, stop being an idiot."
Well, the dad has mysterious Keyblade lore, which we're not privy to, so personally I find him a little bit more interesting.
I know, and I doubt we will ever get the answer to that.
Yeah, because why would they put Atlantica back in unless they did, like, Little Mermaid 3, which was the prequel?
Well, no, it'd have to be Little Mermaid 2, because unless we have another bit of time travel.
God.
Which at this point is not out of the realms of possibility.
Alright, it's happened before, it could happen again at any time. That white tape, it's so real. Well, the evil magistrate did die here, and the Steel Samurai killed him. The murder weapon was the samurai spear. Sounds pretty real to me.
It's also a very detailed talk outline.
Yeah, really.
Also, you do want to examine that ladder.
Yes.
Because we have to have this discussion all the time throughout the Ace Attorney franchise. But, yes, if you are wanting the achievement relating to it, in the versions of the game that do have it,
yes,
check out that ladder.
You got it, mate. Who are you? Who, me? I'm an assistant here. I help with props and stuff, moving them around, ordering new ones, etc. We're lawyers representing Mr. Will Powers. Oh, you're WP's people. WP? Oh, Will Powers. WP. I get it. I don't envy you guys one bit. But do what you can for WP, okay? He never hurt a fly. He has to be innocent. Don't worry. Leave it to us. Okay, we'll talk to you in a second, but first...
We need to check out the ladders.
Look, a ladder! That's a step ladder. What's the difference? You need to stop judging things based on narrow-minded cultural assumptions, Nick. Imagine doing an Ace Attorney playthrough and getting caught up on the wordplay and absurdism of the situation, thinking there was something deeper. Couldn't be me.
I will say, this is a very detailed chalk outline for a body. Most of the time it's just a general squiggle.
Yeah, funny. I expected a spear stabbing wound would at least leave a few bloodstains.
That is very true.
Yeah, it probably got absorbed into the costume.
You say that, but I would still expect at least sort of a bit of the red stuff.
Yes, I was in the studio the whole day. I was the only assistant on the staff that day, you see. God damn.
Yeah, that sounds like a really, really badly run set.
And yesterday was only rehearsal for our action sequences. Oh, I see. In the morning, we went through the action sequences in the employee area. WP and Hammer were there, along with everyone else. The employees area, that's where Powers' dressing room is, right? Yes, that's the place. After eating lunch there, Mr. Hammer went to Studio 1. Then I saw WP going to his dressing room. I liked Justin Hammer's little belt. His name isn't Justin Hammer. I had the MCU on the brain. Sorry about that. Did you know that Mr. Powers was sleeping in his room? Let me just double check something. Jack Hammer. Forgot it already.
And this is Penny Nichols.
Obviously from penny, meaning currency, and nickels, an American currency.
Exactly. And the sort of, I think that the inclination for the reference is that obviously you have coin collectors, and as we may learn a little bit later down the line in this case, Penny Nichols also collects a certain something.
Yeah, she does indeed.
Her Japanese name is Yumiko Mamiya, and Mamiya comes from Mania, likely in reference to her manic love for a particular franchise that she may or may not be working on.
Of course. Aha! That's what I'm talking about. A clue, a lead, a scoop. Well, I don't know about that, but that dangerous afternoon, I sensed someone was here. You sensed? Yes, several times. Some other studio employees, maybe? No, I don't think so. The only thing we had scheduled was an action scene run-through. I was the only assistant here that day. Yeah, that would be weird if there were others prowling about.
Be very weird.
Really? But wait, if someone had come in here, wouldn't that security lady have noticed them? Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry I don't have any better information than that. No, I think he may have just torn a hole in the prosecution's case right here. Yeah, let's go. Sensing someone. So you sensed that someone other than the regular film crew was in the studio? Yes, I think. I think doesn't cut it in a witness testimony. Nick, what about that security lady? If someone else came into the studio, she must have seen them. Thank you. Miss prod you in the right direction.
This is definitely something that I am very glad that they improved on come certainly Dual Destinies and Spirits of Justice. I can't remember whether they did it in Apollo Justice as well, but you sort of just have you have a full list of all the locations that you can go in the investigation phase, and rather than having to go through different routes to get to them, you just have one list to work from. So much smoother.
I appreciate the full list. I don't appreciate being spoiled on locations beforehand.
That is fair, but also, last I checked, I don't think they provide the option to go to a new location until it opens up. So you have the full list of what's available to you at that time.
Who told you that? Who dares question me? Alright, you better tell me. Tell me quick, you spiky-haired cretin. Someone's been... yes, I did pronounce it correctly. Someone's been complaining about the work I do, eh? We were just talking to the assistant in Studio 1, Maya.
I know.
She's not even a full-time employee. This is a local studio for local people. She's not welcome here.
Yeah.
Shared that they used to say something. Oh, she's dead. No, she just left.
She left, but that does give us a very good opportunity to have a look at that computer.
Yeah, baby. Do you want to finish off that point you were making about the travel points, by the way?
I think I pretty much just finished making it, to be fair.
Fair enough, mate. Maybe we can see that photo of Powers with this computer. Yeah, maybe. Take us into the past, oh computer of yore. Nah, leave it alone. We've come far enough. We don't need any more evidence.
No, we'll just finish the case here. It'll all be fine, won't it?
Well, looks like I just have to enter in a few numbers. Let's see. First, I need the date of the murder. It looks like the camera turned on at 1 PM that day. That was when the security lady arrived at the guard station. Please enter the name of the security camera.
ST1307.
Right in the middle. There. Entered. Hey, it printed out the data for that day. Let's see what we got. Well, the music's telling me it's not good, Phoenix. Oh, no.
But you see, this works in our favour.
Yeah, because that's just someone in a costume. I guess that's why the security lady thought it was him.
Yes, explains a lot, but it very much does give the thing of there is evidence that it theoretically could be somebody else wearing the same suit.
Mm-hmm. So it timestamps when it takes a photo. That will be very helpful. That's the only one in the computer. Which means someone took the other photo. Hey, Nick. Can't we use this photo as evidence for the trial? Yeah. We'll put that security lady in her place with this. Right, we'll put her in her place. Hey, that's what I said. Anyway, let's show her this photo and see what she says. Wait, let's nah. Why nah? It's never a good idea to reveal your hand to the enemy too soon.
And especially when it's old bag.
A fucking Sun Tzu over here. Plan your war, Apollo. Hey, why do I have to be the villain? Relax, it was just a joke. So, are we done for today? I think this photo is what we needed for the trial. Still, it would be better if we had some idea who the real killer was. Maybe it really is that security lady.
Up for debate.
I guess we'll see.